Oh, not here we go. 1 second. Hey, Podnutsians. Welcome to another episode of Android App Addicts. This show is completely ad-free if you join our Patreon channel, patreon.com/Android App Addicts. And this episode is brought to you by David Touch. I got to believe that's how it's pronounced. David Touch. David, thank you for the support throughout the years. You're a good man. If you want to support us, again, it's very easy. Link will be in the notes. Joined tonight by Josh. How is everything going, my man?
I'm doing all right, Dor. We were talking before this that we're not going to go into in depth into what's happened over the last month. Let's just say that we've spent more time at the hospital in the last month than I want to for the rest of my life. And our friend is, she sold her house
Mm,
and then didn't have a place to live. So we spent some time with our van and moved it, pulled it up with the tractor to the top of the property, and put a fence around it because she has two dogs as well. And so that took up
gotcha.
a considerable amount of time. Christmas is here. I'm not sure if you're aware. So you got that going on,
Yeah,
but everybody is still alive, though
yeah,
bruised and
that's good.
battered and stitched. So, yeah, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, I've known now two people who died in the last 2 weeks, and it seemed like everybody I've asked in the last week, "So are you having a good day?" Hoping they say yes. All of them are saying no, absolutely not. And like people in like checkout at the grocery store and everything. I was like, wow, this is a bad year apparently. Yeah, I had my share of health issues. More of just crap than anything else. Actually, not crap because I couldn't crap. Um, but hey, you know, I'm just waiting for this Christmas to be over, just so it's over. The wife made it very clear she doesn't want to do anything on New Year's Eve. Um, it's our wedding anniversary. It's our 20th year anniversary, and she just wants to stay home and do nothing. And then in the middle of January, she has I believe it is a 7-day trip for just me and her to go to Disney. And she wants to, in air quote, drink our way around the world in Epcot. I told her
Okay.
we might have to rent some of them scooters, hon, because I don't think
Nice.
that'd be pretty. And Ivor is not here tonight for a very Ivor reason. It's a couple days away from Christmas, and he's caught doing yard work. So welcome to New Zealand. Yeah,
They
we
should
don't
have
have that problem.
Christmas in July.
You would think, you would think that they would just say we're not having it December 24th. We're having it, July 24th or whatever, and just go with that. But hey, they're just kowtowing, I guess, to I don't know, whatever.
Is there any way that I could stop and check my sound real quick? I'm kind of nervous about this door.
Oh well, just go and check it.
How would I just need to stop the audacity though and
Uh-huh.
listen to it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and then just start recording again if you can.
Let's see.
I would
Nothing
try to
so far.
record to a new file,
Oh boy. This is exciting. Maybe not. I think it's just me. I'm not getting any sound coming out. It's showing a sound wave, but I think I'm just on the wrong output, so I'm not even going to be able to hear it anyway.
PAVU control.
Yeah, it's open, but I'm not seeing
On the on.
Oh, wait a minute. It might be a. Oh, there we go. Let me see.
Yeah, playback.
Oh, it is. It's okay. It's fine. Shoot. Sorry.
No problem.
I'll just save this.
Yeah, if you want to save that one and start a new one.
Yeah.
Just it will make it easier for me to connect the dots compared to my audio.
Yeah. Is this exciting, Chuck? Are you happy about this?
Riveted.
Yeah.
Drink around the world.
Drink around the world.
Bruce is still up in Harvard, working his butt off, trying to make sure his wife is taken care of. She right now can't work, kind of thing. Knuckle is still in Idaho, working tech for a unnamed source where they're literally like working him like 80 hours a week. And sometimes he says he loves it, and sometimes he says he wants to quit. Tracy moved from Texas to Orlando, not doing any more farming. Now he's a truck driver, and apparently he's a pretty successful truck driver. So successful, they put him on a normal salary, and then they asked him to go off salary and become like an office person, and it's almost like twice as much money. So surprise, surprise, people like Tracy.
Yeah, I was just thinking, well, we can start this anytime. I don't know if you want to do a countdown or how you do it.
No, just hit record.
All right. You want a timestamp or anything? No, you don't care.
No. What we'll do is as long as we stop at around the same time, it'll be very easy to line up.
Okay. Okay. I feel like Ivor. Okay, cool. I'll just hit this now.
Okay.
Well, that was fun. Yeah, I was just thinking about Timster earlier too, and thought that he was the original Noster.
He is something all right.
We're usually so professional.
Mm-hmm. Better than asking the audience, how does my audio sound?
Okay.
Cool.
What were we discussing?
Oh, well, we were on the topic of people and things. Now let's switch to a topic of news. Okay. Right. This piece of news definitely caught my eye in a very bad way, is what I'm going to say. Link is in the chat, and it's a alternative to news postings, which I didn't even know they did news postings, so that was a pleasant change of pace. And it's about the Simple Mobile Tools. And I don't know if you remember the Simple Mobile Tools calendar, notes, I mean, all kinds of tools, all of them incredibly light, completely open source. And then they had a donate if you want to be nice to us kind of app on the App Store as well. Everything was basically in black or dark gray and orange. If you know, it makes it easier to remember is what I'll say. Well, apparently Simple Mobile Tools was bought out by Zippo Apps, and it sparks the controversy over the open source apps. This is almost like when people buy extensions from open source developers who basically can't maintain it anymore, or they don't want to maintain it anymore. So then a company buys it, and of course they try to find their way to monetize it. I don't know if Zippo Apps is a scummy company, but I'd be willing to bet money, kind of, because it's pretty easy to be scummy when you're a company, that this company will try to do something nefarious with the apps. So I just tell everybody out there, if you are a fan of simple mobile tools and you like those apps, look on the horizon. There will be true open source alternatives that are not owned by companies that will, I think, quickly try to come and fill this gap, because I do think because simple tools always had good download numbers. So hopefully somebody else with more talent than myself will, pick up the cause, is what I'll say.
I would imagine that somebody will. Somebody will fork to GitHub and then do a branch or a fork from it, I would think. But it just goes to show the challenges that open source software faces. If these guys felt that they needed to sell instead of, they weren't making enough money by donations for the product to succeed as open source.
Yeah, and I don't want open source to be like open core, to where you have to pay for the extra features and kind of things, but they have to find the key word is onboarding, and onboarding is the most difficult thing in apps in Silicon Valley, where if you're a pro at onboarding, you're worth a ton of money. Open source people need to figure out a good way of onboarding people to show them there's value here. And I do think people every day are starting to realize I cannot pay for anything I'm using. Let me at least pick a couple things and let me donate to them, or make a reoccurring donation or something to them, because I don't want to see certain things die. So I, right now, about 4 different projects every month, try to give at least like $4 or $5. And I guess simple tools should have been one of them, but I digress.
Yeah, but it is the way of the open source project too, a lot of times. The only one that I've used their file manager for the simple apps, but there's apps that just, or websites or anything else, that just bombard you with, buy a subscription, pay for this, get this, right? Where it's over the top. There's an app that I used. Well, we had talked about the Onyx hunting app, and the Onyx hunting app, and that had a 3-month free subscription. And so I used that, and it ran out, and I decided to give money to a Canadian developer that was a lot cheaper as well. And I think I brought this up before, but I bring it up again just in regards to companies making money. And this one, I wanted to buy a subscription to it, which was $10 a year, I think. And I couldn't find, I knew that it was there. I knew it was possible, but I could not find it on the app or the website. And so it was the kind of the opposite thing of, okay, I appreciate the fact that I'm not being bombarded to upgrade my account with you, but you also need to make it clear and easily accessible for people to give you money.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the earliest things I was told in podcasting was when Steve Torino said to me, he said, if you don't let people, give you money, they will be more mad at you than if you take their money and then you turn out to be, stupid kind of thing. And I was like, what? He said, I'm telling you. Because at first when I was podcasting, I was like telling people, I don't want your money. I don't need your money, blah, 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 blah. And he says, dude, you're going to make a lot of enemies like that. Take the money.
Take the money and run.
Yes, I was like, okay, we'll do. I do have that iHunter BC in the notes as well, if anybody's interested. And here's the thing. The best thing about this kind of app is it's a local app. It's much more likely to be responsive to you because you're also local kind of thing.
Yeah, and it has one of the things with it though was that I was driving around some logging roads, and so it's nice to have a map of the logging roads, which don't really necessarily expect. But Onyx had a good one, and this also has a good one, but it wouldn't follow the vehicle. Like I had the map up, and then I'd have to go up and scroll up with my finger because it wouldn't just follow the location that I was at.
Well, but it showed your location on the map, right?
Yeah, but then I would drive up and the vehicle would stay, or the map would stay in the same spot. Like it wouldn't scroll automatically. I don't know. It would, whatever.
Well, that should be something I think they could work on.
Well, yes, it seems like whatever base map they're using would have that functionality built into it.
Yeah, hopefully they just figure out what variable to pass to it to make it happen.
So otherwise, I think it's probably a good app, and would recommend people looking into it if they're hunting in British Columbia.
Very cool.
And if you are, hit me up and let me know where to go.
Right.
We did get a small buck the last day of the season, though, which was pretty gratifying.
Gotcha. Very cool. The other kind of piece of news / app thing I thought was well worth the discussion was Android Police reporting on Firefox will support at least 200 new extensions on Android this December.
Oh, nice.
Before we were talking about, another company is going to try the Android as a desktop thing. And I always felt like one of the biggest shortcomings about Android on a desktop was no full featured browser supported true extensions. And if you can't support uBlock Origin and other stuff, I don't think I can use you as a desktop kind of thing.
Absolutely. I've always wondered why Firefox didn't have extensions on Android. I mean, you have to get some other Fire docs or something that, like,
right?
Ice Dove.
Right. Well, with Chrome, I'll say at least I understood. Because if you go to the Chromium did not officially support ARM, period. So for Google to make a ARM version of Chrome means they had to basically spin up something new. Or take somebody else's code and, borrow it and enhance it kind of thing. But then to support, I guess, x86 or whatever extensions might have been a very difficult task for them to do. And they probably thought, well, it's not worth it. So in the Chrome browser on Android, they often suggest view mode, I want to say it's called, to where you click on that link and basically on that link you see no ads. The gimmick is that link doesn't show up until the page completely loads. So the ads still get their download numbers, and then you can hit view mode to where you don't see any ads. So they're trying to make both parties happy is what I'll say.
I guess I've never really sat down and thought about how extensions work anyway.
Right.
Like they must have full access to the web page you're on, most of them or some of them.
Yeah.
In order to function properly.
Oh yeah, they definitely need a lot of permissions, which is why, like, what holds true with WordPress should hold true with your browser experience, which is install as few extensions as possible or plugins as possible.
I thought you were going to say don't use it.
Well, you can. You just got to install as few things as possible and make sure it's updated. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I couldn't find an actual like solid list of what extensions. Um, so I'm gonna wait for this to become a reality. Then I'll try to browse through them and see if the in air quote important ones exist. If they do, cool. I could probably use Android as a desktop. If not, then I can only use it as like a couch computer or a timer or something, or as my phone.
Yeah, I guess they would have to be um, Bitwarden
Right.
would be pretty handy.
Yeah.
Although,
Password manager support.
you know what? I just upgraded my Proton Mail account.
Right.
I had the basic one, and then I went to unlimited,
Mm,
and which just for some reasons, but they have a browser extension now called Proton Pass. I
hmm.
don't know if you've seen that,
Nope.
and it's a password manager slash alias email creator, which I'm getting more and more fond of. Being able to just create some random gibberish email account per sign up for other accounts, and then and so that I had to turn it off because it was pretty intrusive. I think it's pretty
Hmm.
new, but it's yeah, it was just kind of it defaults to autofilling,
Right.
which I mean that's I like the autofill anyway, but back off. I'll tell you if you can do it or not.
Well, I mean, the only reason to not trust autofill is if you have DNS spoofing or your DNS cache is poisoned.
But then you're pretty much hosed anyway.
Right. And that's why I let it autofill, because
Yeah.
if I look at my URL thing and I see paypal.com, I'm going to fill it. So I'd be, up a creek without a paddle or something. Anyway.
But I do like the I like the email aliases, and because I gave Firefox some money as well and upgraded my um, what do they call it? Basically the same thing where you can create
Yeah.
as many
Um,
aliases as you want. Relay, Firefox
Relay.
Relay.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then but then there's another one tier above this one. Firefox is trying to get my money, door. Which you can do for your phone, and you can create phone numbers, alias phone numbers, and so you're not giving your phone number out either.
Right.
So
Oh,
I like that.
that sounds good. Yeah.
So I believe that Firefox Relay is doing that. I was kind of hoping that Proton Mail would do that too, but
Right. Well, I'll say this: Proton Mail doesn't seem to be the first with any features. Well, after their first initial set of features is what I'll say. Then after that, they seem to go very slow and steady. Um, so to me, if you're okay with being patient, Proton Mail always seems to come out with something really valuable. At first, I was mixed feelings about them. With every day, they just become more reputable and more competent. I feel they're just never going to be the ones with the exciting alpha versions of stuff that you can use.
yeah, but it's also the when they start off and I think it was one of those sign up deals, or I can't remember exactly how it worked. Like it wasn't just flooding the public with sign up here, but then it's a Swiss company, blah blah. But now they're just they're getting bigger,
Oh yeah.
and it always seems to be end with corruption and some sort of kowtowing to the government's desires.
Well, I mean, every company in any country always has to cater to their home country. Um, some have better privacy laws, is what I'll say. And some do a better job of proving in a court of law that your privacy is their priority. Um, my example of that is um, the VPN that I can't remember right now.
Um,
PIA maybe. What's it called?
Private internet access.
Private internet access. Yeah, they're the ones who had many court summons, and they give the court all the data they can use or that they have, and the court is like, "This is not usable data. We need more information there. That's all we have."
Yeah. Well, that's the what is it? Obfuscation? What's that word, Dor?
Obfuscation.
Obfusca-
You're asking me to pronounce something, dude. You're in trouble.
What is it? Yeah. Anyway, that one.
There's and then
Yeah.
skew somehow. Asian.
Obscuration? That's not right.
It's
Anyway.
really close though.
Yeah.
If you were to say that, if you were to say that to somebody intelligent, they'll completely understand you, but they'll probably correct you as well.
Yeah. They'll understand you, but they'll know you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting. I mean, that seems to be the best thing that you could do as a company is not have any data, right? Like
Right.
It's
never
that's
have
where
it.
the money is. That's where the money is as well, is in that data.
I'll say that's the lazy money, the easy money.
Yeah. Well, guess what, Dor? That's where everybody goes.
I know. Well, most do, unless that's like their charter to be private.
Well, yeah. Don't do no evil, Dor.
Until somebody buys them, and then
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bring an app real quick, and the main reason I'm bringing this app, huh?
I was just looking. Obfuscation.
You're right there. I wouldn't be able to tell you you're wrong.
I'm looking at it and I still can't read it.
Gotcha. Okay. This is an app I swore we already brought to the show, but when I looked through everything, I could never find it existed in notes or anything. This is called Obtainium. This is an APK you can download from GitHub, and only GitHub, I believe. Maybe F-Droid as well. Sorry. And what this app does is you install this app, and it doesn't matter where you download your APK from. It could be GitHub, GitLab, Codeberg, F-Droid, third-party F-Droid repos, Izzy on Droid, SourceForge, SourceHut, APK Pure, Aptoid, up to down, APK Mirror, Huawei App Gallery, Jenkins Jobs, and like even more than that. And basically you install this app, and this app will help you manage updates to all those apps that are not on Google Play. So if you have a bunch of different apps from a bunch of different sources and you don't want to have to track down updates on your own when they're there, this app can tell you, and in most cases can also download it for you as well. So I think this package will become more and more important to, the open source fanatics as time goes on, kind of thing.
Yeah, this is cool. This is, I like it.
Yeah, and I couldn't find us mentioning it anywhere. And when I stumbled across it again, I said, I swore it was at least in my apps list, but I maybe just didn't bring it to a show is what I'm thinking. But yeah, Obtainium.
And then I snickered a little bit. It says motivation, side of burritos.
Yeah.
You should use this instead of F-Droid. So is that a side of, it's going to YouTube. I don't, is it,
I think it's a little trying to be humorous, but.
Well, all right. I laughed.
Yeah.
I cried. I'm sure no one listening to this will laugh, but trust me, it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, I like burritos. In fact, we went to a Mexican restaurant tonight.
Oh, nice. What'd you have?
Shrimp fajitas. No. Fajitas. Yeah. Shrimp fajitas. Like the sizzling plate and everything.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And I got a side of queso, and all I did was pour the cheese right into the hot plate.
Nice. Good queso?
Oh, me and my wife swear they sprinkle a little crack in it.
Yeah, a little MSG, a little crack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Was that in Baltimore?
Actually, outside of Baltimore, La Tolteca, they got a couple locations. They're not like nationwide. Even I think they're only in this state, and there's only like 4 of them.
Oh, nice. Obfuse. Oh man, I almost had it.
I know. Obfuscation.
That's right.
Escape.
Obfuscation. Obfuscation.
Obfuscation. Yeah, that has to be it. I think.
That's it. I don't know what it means, but now I can say it.
Well, it's obscuring some facial kin or something. That's what I'm going with.
You can't tell me that Ivor is the one that keeps us on the rails.
No, absolutely not.
I was gonna. If you want to take a break here, I can. This is probably an app, and this is ridiculous, but this is probably an app that every single person listening to this has used for a long time. Which is, I've never been one to pay with my phone, and so this is just the Google Wallet. And I think it was Google Pay before. It's kind of obfuscated. Yep. But yeah, I ended up getting a prepaid credit card that gives rewards in Satoshis. Huh. So I put it on my phone, and now I'm just kind of throwing that around a little bit, and I can see why people do it. It is quite convenient.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a Luddite, so it took me this long. But are there alternatives to Google Pay that you can put on your phone or wallet?
I'll just say
this. Do you use it?
Oh, I have used it in the past. My last 2 phones didn't have NFC, so it's like I forgot is what I'll say or something about it. So I never reinstalled it on my current phone. I don't think there's any true alternatives to this that can use the NFC, except for Samsung Wallet. I know does it as well. I think every other alternative to this will be able to store your credit cards, but I don't think they'll be able to transmit over NFC the secure credentials. Because part of the reason there's very few apps that do this is you have to have a metric ton of infrastructure on the back end on your side to do all the secure communications between all of the big companies, Discover, MasterCard, Amex, and all of them. The only reason I know that is because when we started to do, when we revamped our credit card machines, I found out just how much infrastructure there is in this, because I'm a state employee back in the Department of Treasury that houses all the secure hardware that does all the actual transactions, and we have to have a ridiculously secure connection with them in order to pass PCI rules. I'm not going to call them laws. PCI
compliance,
rules.
PCI compliance.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, oh my God, it's such a game.
I've got a cartoon. If I could draw, I would have drawn this a long time ago, and it's been in my head rolling around since. There's a doctor's office, and you've got the receptionist, and then people sitting there or whatever in the waiting room. And then there's just a door with an outline of a hippo standing on 2 feet, and the doctor coming out and said, "I needed it HIPAA compliant."
Jeez.
That'd be a funny cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Guess you have to be in the medical field.
Well, you have
people laughing right now. There are people laughing.
I'm sure
if he was here.
But I'm sure they deal with HIPAA every day. And I did not do that. Okay, this was another one that I swore I brought in the past, but my attempt to find hyperlinks to it were completely empty. I couldn't find any actual examples. This was the kind of thing that if I do have Android running on a computer, on a computer, laptop, desktop, whatever, I think I would like to experiment with Linux CLI launcher. And to the non-Linux users, CLI stands for Command Line Interface, or think of it as your command prompt kind of thing, or your PowerShell kind of a thing. This is by Francisco Andrezzi. I'm sticking with that. 4.5 stars. 16,000 reviews, 1 million plus downloads. E for everyone's no in-app ads, no in-app purchases. Features TUI commands like uninstall, open, SMS, native Android Linux commands as well. Aliases, you use your favorite commands faster. Suggestions to help you complete your commands. RSS reader built in-app notes for your to-do list. Reply to your notifications directly from your launcher, online theming repository, in-app text editor, extremely highly customizable launcher, which if it has the word Linux in it, it better be, CLI music player, full Linux-like CLI interface. List some commands, some user links. This is version 6.15, updated on October 17th, 2019. Requires 4.0 Android and up, 1 million plus downloads. Content rating everyone. Permission. It's a launcher, so it's going to need a metric ton of access, is what I'm going to say. And I'm going to paraphrase a old Linux graybeard. The last time this was updated on October 17th, 2019. And what he would say is something to the effect of, well, if you coded it right, you wouldn't have to keep updating it. So maybe they just coded this one right, is what I'm going to say. And I'm sticking with that.
I can't install it, Dor.
Oh, no.
I know. I want to. This is what I need in my life right now.
Well, speaking about extensions, one that I can never stop installing is a free APK downloader. To which you go to your page and you just hit download APK. It doesn't matter what your nationality is or what region you're in.
Through the Play Store? Or is this...
No.
Wait, this
is a browser extension. You just click the icon in the extensions list. Free APK downloader. And then you can get it. Yeah, the only time it doesn't work if it's a paid app. The icon's like a smiley face, sun.
But then, well, I guess I'm curious to why it won't. It's not compatible with my device.
Well, yeah, it either thinks it's not compatible with your device, which makes no sense, or it's region locked.
My phone was rocking in 2019 when this came out, so or when it was last updated, so it should run on there.
Yeah,
it's made for my phone, 7-year-old phone.
Yeah, and since it has been updated for 4 years, the data safety is unknown because that didn't exist the last time this app was updated.
Right.
Now, this is the kind of. Sorry.
Oh, I said like you said, when it's done, it's done.
Well, but Google hates that in applications. So if you literally go to your Play Store and type in Linux space CLI space launcher, do not be shocked if you cannot find it. Google believes newer apps are more secure than older apps, which just shows they actually don't understand app development. But so if you want this, it's much easier to just go to the show notes, scroll down, Linux CLI launcher, click done.
Well, this must be, is this on F-Droid?
It wouldn't shock me just because it has the word Linux in it and it's completely free.
Yeah, you would think that if it has Linux on it, there'd be a repository for it as well.
Yeah, I didn't see any mention of licenses.
Maybe it's a CIA front.
Yeah,
we'll get those nerds.
Well, hurry up and send it to Ivor.
No, it's not on F-Droid. Doesn't look like either.
Maybe we need to contact Francesco and threaten him.
Not that we are. Oh, he's got a couple other ones too.
Oh,
Textual launcher.
so I'm going to guess it's like this, just without the Linux stuff.
Oh, maybe he just hates Huawei.
Huh.
If the application requires no special permissions to run. Huh. Well, door. It looks very nice, and I'd be interested if anybody else is able to do it. So if you live in Canada, try this thing out. In the show notes, which door meticulously keeps.
I try. Oh, okay. Do you have any more apps?
I do. This is another one that just comes with a product that we purchased, which is called a skylight. That was loud. Which is something that if I had more time, I would have taken on to create, because it's using the API of different calendars, and then it comes in a 15-inch touch screen. I'll try to get a touch screen, and then you can create different calendars, and then it just shows up. So you have it basically hanging on your wall, and it's a digital calendar that everyone can edit. You can put your lists on there too, grocery lists and whatnot. So it's probably more expensive than it should be, but the convenience of not building it myself and just having it is worth it, I think.
Well, it says, the first line, it says, the Skylight app allows you to manage your Skylight devices.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the app for that. You can create events on your calendar, or the lists, or chores.
Oh.
And then, but you can also, if you can sync your calendars. So if I put something on my Google Calendar, it automatically goes to this.
Gotcha. So how much was the Skylight device?
Oh man, let's see. Taking into consideration that it is in Canada, this looks like US, on sale now for $289.
Gotcha.
And then
Yeah.
they also have a way, if you give them $39 a year, then you can use it as a digital picture frame too when it's not in use. So I guess that's how they're creating a revenue stream, which seems a bit obnoxious to me, because are you kidding me? Just, I mean, what are you doing? You're using a screensaver probably on this little Linux device that you have here, and I add my pictures, and then it goes to a slideshow
Right.
after the thing goes to sleep, and you want to pay, you want me to pay you $3 or $4 a month for that?
Right.
I got other stuff to put my money towards that I don't need.
Well, it's one of those things. I think it's a really good idea. But it's a good idea for people who don't want to even attempt to roll their own solution, is what I'll say.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's a decent quality touch screen as well. So you're looking at quite a chunk of change just to put the little screen together too. But I mean, it interests me, but it seems closed. So it would be something that would be really cool to have an API for and have access to. And it would be something that would be great for developers to be able to create plugins for. And I don't know if that's on their roadmap, but it's not available. Plus, you can put in your zip code, and then it'll give you the weather too on there. but it doesn't allow for letters. Therefore, Canada is out.
Uh,
So they'll sell it to you, but you can't use it properly.
gotcha. Um, well, I mean, it's still, I think, one of those things. It's a good idea. It's just maybe they didn't unveil it correctly or something.
Well, I think it's. I'm hoping that it's in development
Right.
because they're all just kind of small nuances or foibles that they could probably easily be remedied.
Gotcha.
But I mean, it's a great idea. It really is.
Right. Okay. On my side, I can't believe I'm actually bearing the lead that I really did mean to bring up as soon as I got it. But then, of course, shows didn't happen and family stuff happened and work stuff happened and all this stuff happened, stuff.
Stuff.
So let me see. Did I copy paste that wrong? Let me make sure the link is right in the YouTube chat. It looks good. Okay.
Meter.
So really quick disclaimer. I basically decided to pull a George Costanza and say to myself, how about we go completely opposite to what you would do on these occasions, and let's see what it turns out to be like.
Right.
So instead of hiding all my data from Google, I signed up for what's called a ScreenWise meter, to where they say in the first year you could earn as much as $600, with the low being around $300. Which I'm not finding those numbers to be like happening to me yet, but I digress. For each device you add, you get a little bit more bonus. For the other types of devices you add, you get another type of bonus. And then if you have all types of desktop, phone, tablet, and smart device all signed into this kind of thing, you get another kind of bonus. So I'm not doing all of the kinds of devices because partially I can't figure out how to hook up the Google Home Minis to it. But I digress. The good part about this is there is simple ways to you have this installed on an Android phone and use a browser that basically won't report their findings. In the app also, it's very easy to say temporarily turn off my cookies. I need to do something private. So right there in the app, you can say turn off temporarily, do what you need to do, and click it back on, and it should not be capturing what you say.
I really don't believe that.
I'm just saying that's what the app says. Or you could easily just use Firefox. You know what I mean? And you don't have to worry about any of that.
And a VPN.
Nope, just Firefox.
Collecting that or no?
No, it did give an option to say it could install on your home router, to which I didn't even look at because, that's a bit.
Oh, this? No chance. No
I know. But I said, so let me see if it's worth my money, in air quote, to do this. Well, initially I signed up. I got a small sign up bonus. And like a day later, I had a survey that I completed. So I got a survey bonus. And then I installed it on phone, one computer in my house, which is the computer I don't do any browsing on, is what I'm going to say. And on my tablet that only does show camera switching, do nothing else. So I got a little bit of bonus for that too. And it's been now just over a month, I'm going to say, month and a half. And I know I've already made like $36 is what I'm going to say.
Really?
Yeah. It was painfully obvious. The more active you are, the more money you get. Those are the people with $600 a year kind of thing coming in. So far, I'm not complaining about the app. I did do a sniffer on the tablet I left the tablet on for 24 hours straight, did a sniffer on it, and I could not detect any information coming off the laptop that I didn't, you know, agree with like another company to do. Like it's technically a Fire tablet, so every whatever seconds it contacts Amazon just because. So if you want to be one of those people making money for browsing your computer and you have no big privacy issues, then you might want to check out ScreenWise Meter. Now the problem is, I believe this is an invite-only process. I'm the guy who I'm part of Gallup panel surveys, so I get surveys from them. They pay me money. Um, when I do a Google search and the Google search results, it asks me for my feedback. I give it my feedback. I think because I do that kind of thing, and because like once in a while I'll get a question on my Android phone. What did you think of these search results? What did you think of the Google Assistant result for that? I give them feedback. I think because I do all that, I might have been invited to this, is what I'm going to guess. I don't
When you
mind
tell
giving.
them when you tell them to F off, they're not going to let you in, I guess.
Well, maybe. I will say on more than a couple times in my feedback to Google, I mentioned how this was incredibly incompetent and stupid of them to have this pop up. This is nothing to do with what I typed in the search. So there's that.
Well, this one's not available on my device either.
Well, for yours, I think it would have to be country.
Yeah, that would be my guess on this one.
But I just
tried
wanted
it in a private browser as well, and
right. Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to play with this. My logic was I'll give it at least 6 months. And I want to see if I get anything other stupid popping up on my phone that, I didn't agree to. Or if I find it sending data home from that desktop computer via Snort and my tablet, then I'll definitely let you guys know and completely drop it. But for now, it seems unintrusive, at least, is what I'll say.
well, how are they? What are they monetizing then? If nothing is going,
They're monetizing once a week. I get prompted on all my devices. It's time to update your cookies with them. So it's basically only cookies from the Chrome browser or a Chrome offshoot browser that is getting sent up to them. And then when it gets sent up, each 1,000 points is worth $1, which I hate when people do that. Just give me 1 point. And the only thing I found like worth my time to give me the gift cards is Amazon credit. And what happens is my wife is a Prime subscriber, so I literally just send the gift cards to her. So she gets free money.
you got 1,000,000 points.
Yeah, exactly. Equates to $2.50.
Red said that in the chat, come out whenever we do 6 o'clock Pacific time, the only legitimate time zone,
Right.
and come out to the chat where Red is, and he said that he does Google rewards and answers the questions on searches, and does an Amazon survey group as well. And I have heard of rewards, but I've never seen anything for searches or an Amazon survey group.
Gotcha. Well, the Google rewards, I think, is the stepping stone to this, to where you have to turn on location sharing for that one. So when you go to a store, you go to a restaurant, you go to a gas station, you go to a hospital, even they'll ask you questions like, where's the main entrance to this building? Have you been to this place recently? Did you make a purchase? They used to ask you for the receipt all the time. They basically stopped asking you for the receipt because I got so many people said I don't have it anymore and just moved on. But yeah, the good thing about the Google opinion rewards is they take a while to run out. And the wife seems to like watching movies that aren't on any service yet, and they're not on any tracking type system yet. So I say just go on Google Play and just rent it, whatever. I don't care.
But then the search. Is that what you're talking about for the search answers? Because I've never seen that come up.
Well,
Search questions or
Google rewards will either ask you on the results of a recent search you made, or have you used the discovery feature, which is basically just like their home stream with news and stuff. Or if you've been to a place, they'll ask you, well, does this look like a chicken fried steak? And you just say yes or no.
So what you're saying is the rewards is the gateway drug to the
It is.
Streamwise meter.
I think it absolutely is. And to be honest, I think you give up more information, personal information with Google opinion rewards.
Yeah, I stopped. I did it for a little while, and then I said, "No, I'm done with this." I like the free money, but
I like to free money, and I'm in the top 10% of people who do like food type reviews, and I'm thinking, thanks Google. That's a way to tell me I'm fat. I got it.
Do you get so you get rewards for writing reviews as well?
For those, you just get points, is what I'll say, not money.
Points, 1 million points.
Right, exactly. Well, me and Eric, for a long time, were debating, who's higher ranked.
Okay,
and
nice.
And he suckered me into a competition.
When do you get to the final boss, the big boss?
Hopefully soon. My fingers are getting tired.
Yeah, I've got 1 million points. When do I fight the final boss?
So do you have any more apps, Josh?
I don't, but I've got a few minutes if you want to keep bringing it.
Okay, yeah, there was at least, I think, 2 more I thought were well worth the mention, is what I'm going to say. Especially when this Bluetooth keyboard doesn't act a little buggy.
It's lit up, though.
I know it's well lit up. The first one is, to me, it's a very interesting look and feel for a voice notes app, is what I'm going to say. And that's like the special thing about this. It does voice notes very good. I like the fact that before with voice notes, it was just hit a button, record something, and it didn't do anything special ever. You know what I mean? I like that now audio notes apps are coming out to where you can literally say, Cocoon, subject, taxes. Don't forget about, tax bill is due on this date. And then it will literally create a category in your notes app called taxes. And if one already exists, it'll basically add it to the stack of tax notes. So it does some smart things where it actually analyzes the audio and makes changes to either the categories or topics, I believe they're called, other things. But what I love about this is no data is shared with third party and no data is collected by this company, Cocoon Weaver. So basically everything it does is on the device, literally. And that was the other thing that I liked.
Do you have a link for it, Dor?
Oh, I do.
I do.
Okay. And while you look at that, I'm going to say Cocoon Weaver, audio notes by Code Weaver, Voice Yourself, Android, 3.9 average reviews, 80 reviews, 10,000 plus downloads, E for everyone. Let's go to about the app. Version 1.0.0.2 updated on May 23rd, 2023. Requires 6.0 Android and up. Again, 10,000 plus downloads. Content rating E for everyone. Permissions detail. Because it's a voice thing, it needs to be able to handle incoming phone calls and stuff. So it needs read phone's status, recording audio, of course, device ID and call information. I don't know why. View network connections, network access, change your audio settings. Doesn't need to run at startup, but it runs at startups. prevent device from sleeping. You do not want your device sleeping in the middle of doing an audio recording. So I definitely give this app a thumbs up on not only ease of use, but built-in functionality. Once you learn the lingo, once you learn the correct verbiage to use with this app, I think it becomes very easy to use, and you don't have to do extra work, and it just seems to work. And in the help, it does explain all of the like code words you can say at the beginning of the audio to do stuff.
It's interesting that coding, the actual coding of an app is becoming verbal now, right? And it's all about the syntax, and depending on what language you're using or what app you're using, it's all just voice controlled with certain commands that you have to learn to get anything done.
Right. And it's just like starting a new job. You find out that that every job has its own acronyms, its own verbiage, its own names for stuff. Yeah, jargon that you're like, what are you talking about? And then after like 3 months, it starts to make sense. So same kind of thing. Once you understand the jargon, the lingo, this app becomes very easy to use, is what I'll say.
How long have you been using it?
I only used it for a couple days, because I'm either at work where I can't talk, or I'm at home surrounded by family where I can't talk. So it's like, I can't, if this is the kind of app, if I was a single guy, I would be using every day to do stuff, but I just can't. I would like to.
This fills a niche for me.
Yeah.
And I just downloaded it. Actually is able to be installed on my phone, which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
So yeah, that's great. I like the idea of this.
Right.
Okay. Because usually, I don't know, it must be able to play over other apps. Because this is something for listening to podcasts and having a trinket of information that I'd like to go back upon and do a little more research to be able to just use this to make notes on what that is instead of needing to stop and then write it down on a note.
It wouldn't shock me if the split second you say record, the other audio app would pause.
And that would be very beneficial as well.
Right. That's what that would be my expected behavior, because that's not difficult, is what I'd say.
I need to figure that out too, because whenever I'm using a map app, and I'll be listening to podcasts in the car, and I don't have fancy Google or Android Auto. So it's just my phone stuck up on a suction cup on the front window. But whenever I'm listening to a podcast, Google will play over it.
Right.
Turn right here in 500, blah, 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 blah. But I can kind of hear the podcast underneath still playing.
Right. It basically overtakes it.
Yeah, it just plays over the top of it. I mean, can you give me a solid of pausing it first and then?
Well, 2 quick questions. When you run your maps directions on your mount, do you see 4 squares on the bottom right and a microphone on the bottom left?
Boy, I don't know. I haven't looked at it that closely.
Because basically they got rid of Android Auto mobile, and they basically turned Google Maps into Android Auto when you're directions via a car. Oh. Now, with that said, I don't remember if I saw a pause feature, but I know I have the opposite. I don't want to hear every single turn. I mean,
no, not at all.
So what you can is you can click on the mic button, and there's 3 modes. There's mute, there's full like audio, and then the other one is only tell me. Wait, what was it?
If I'm about to do something stupid.
Well, no. It only gives you dings when it has to recalculate because you took a wrong turn or something.
Right.
And I don't even hear you're approaching your destination. The only other thing I hear is there's a police trap up ahead.
Oh, nice.
I know.
Is that
And I,
on Google Maps or is that Waze or something?
Google and Waze both have, but I absolutely love when it says there's a traffic stop ahead and I pull up and man, I want to just give that guy the finger. Oh, so bad.
You need a radar detector. How much you pay for it?
Exactly.
It
Paid for
pays
itself. Well, lately what I've come across is they have a police car parked on a major highway facing the way the traffic is going, and they have a huge box thing mounted to the front of it with two other things mounted on each side, and there's nobody in the car. So it's a mobile radar catching device.
Just lazy. So lazy.
I know. And then if you get caught by it, I'm guessing one of the little ones is the motion sensor. The other one is the flash, and then the other one is the actual camera kind of thing. And I know that's the flash because it happened to me like 2 weeks ago.
I despise those things. I really do. And they're starting to come into other places now. It's a surveillance state, and it's just creeping in, and there's just a general malaise about it, and
it's all in the name of extra security. We're keeping you guys safe.
On the box on top of the police car at those radar stations or radar stops, does it have a Screenwise meter logo on it by chance?
Yeah, exactly. No, but I will tell you, if I was 18, 19 years old, I would definitely find a parking spot and come up behind the device where there's no cameras and,
Yeah. Take care of business.
Mm-hmm. And then I would scream, hack the planet.
There's people are doing that around here for the gates on all the logging roads. There's some dodgy, I think I might have talked about this before, but some dodgy dealings, it seems, a long time ago in this area where huge swaths of government property, crown land, was granted to certain individuals. But now it's a logging company, and there's gates. They're putting up new gates all the time, so you just can't even get up anywhere. They own like the central part of the island basically, and you can't go up into the mountains without having to go around a gate somehow.
Right.
So people are taking cutting torches and all sorts of things and just eliminating said obstacles.
And see, my wife tries to convince me how all Canadians love Canada and they're all, peaceful and nice. And then I send her a link of a mass shooting up in Canada, and she's like, "What? Well, it's probably an American." No, it was a Canadian.
No, whatever it is. Yeah, it's the same. Only a little bit. Well, I don't know. I mean, I was going to say a little less. The fascism is a little less hidden, but
it's might be colder.
Less hidden down there. I mean,
the only thing I'll say, it's a little colder. You guys have a term called what was it? Deck weather. That means you can actually sit on your deck and not freeze.
It's been warm up here. It's obnoxiously warm for December.
That's not good. That just tells me it'll probably get harsh here in like 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, or it'll be we had a long winter.
Right.
What else you got, Dor?
Okay, I had a choice of, I'm going to bring this one actually, which I'm going to admit is a little weird because I still don't think it's really catching on. We had people doing mass exodus stuff from all kinds of services in the last year, trying to start something different because, this fell out of favor, that fell out of favor. This one is called Eternity for Lemmy, and Lemmy is a Reddit alternative. So if you're getting mad at the inline ads or the fact that, your app stopped working with Reddit, well, then you might want to check out Lemmy. And then if you do check out Lemmy, you might want to check out Eternity for Lemmy on Android. Its developer is whatever. I don't know if that is. 4.5 reviews, 41 reviews, 4.5 rating, 1,000 downloads. T for teen. Let's go into some more details for it and say version 0.1.2, aka very new. Updated October 24th, 2023. 5.0 Android and up. 1,000 plus downloads. T for teen again. Needs photo media files to upload things. It needs storage in order to basically cache things on your device or save stuff to USB. Other, adjust your wallpaper size, view network connections, full network access, run at startup, set wallpapers, prevent device from sleeping. None of that is completely unfair, is what I say. No data is shared with third party and no data is collected. I will say I like that feature of it. I did take a look at Lemmy and I wanted to wait till I saw more activity on places where I want activity. Like, Android apps or something like that. And I didn't really see the activity yet. So I really haven't dove in yet, but I keep it constantly on a back burner. And every 2 months I check it out just to see. And I see it's definitely getting busier. I just needed to hit that, network effect threshold.
Yeah, but you got to be part of the network effect.
Yeah, well, I've been there. I've made bad decisions in the past.
We all have.
Yeah, so it's now I'm just being old, crusty, and waiting. And there's no way I can pronounce this developer name. Yeah.
You're still angry about geez, I already forgot what it's called. Android or Google
Wave?
No, Google Groups or Google no. What's it called?
I don't know. They had Hangouts. They had I can't remember what their Twitter thing was called.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, I can't remember. But I know I can absolutely not pronounce this developer.
I was gonna ask you if you'd read it.
Balsal Aniski.
Nice.
Yeah, that just sounds like a cluster. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to bring that one just so this is the kind of thing I like to force myself to relook at. And when I look at recent apps on the show, it reminds me of once in a while go back and check it out. Very cool.
Have you been lurching on
Oh yeah.
On Nostr?
Yeah. It's just hard for me to find people worth following. It's just like Ivor said on one of his postings. It was like I'm being held down because because of my popularity or something like that. And the response was, no, you're not popular because your posts suck. So it's hard for me to find a post that I see a post. I'm like, I got to follow that guy.
That's great.
And in all these apps, I wish there was just one simple option. When I go to the global feed, only show me things in English.
Yours does. It has a translate.
I know it has a translate, but I don't want to push a button to translate. I just want to either see it in my native language.
This is mine translate. Are you using Amethyst?
Yeah, I didn't see that option.
Mine's done it since the beginning.
No, every now and then I see nothing but no. I mean, maybe I'm not patient enough to let it wait to translate because I have noticed it loads everything on the fly. But yeah, every now and then I just see Chinese text, blocks of Chinese text.
Is that in the global feed?
Well, it's never in my all followers kind of thing. But yeah, it's only in the global feed.
Yeah, I've seen that too, I guess. I don't really spend much time in there at this point, though.
And I wish it was a little bit better at notifications. It seems to not send me the fact I got a notification until I open the app.
Oh. Well, that sounds like a permissions thing too. Then.
Well, I agree. And this is a typical Ivor post on Amethyst, Nostr. I want, and it's just a T-shirt saying "Dare," D-A-R-E, like the old school thing. And beneath it, it says drugs are really expensive.
I would those like his memes.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's an easy way to put it.
I made a meme the other day
Oh,
about the influencers going. I don't know if you saw that.
don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's just interesting because when people come and they don't have their algorithm anymore backing them, I think some people, because there are some, I guess they're influencers. I don't know, people that have a following somewhere else,
Right.
and then they come and then like, well, where's my million followers? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, they expect to just have popularity. Almost like they're, what's the word? Privileged? Is that the word?
But I've been poking around on the marketplace there too,
Mm,
and put a couple freeze-dried packages of bananas and pineapples. So
very
just to
cool.
try to get the feasibility of shipping anything around Canada.
Right. That sounds cool. I will admit.
But I mean, it's like you said, that is certainly going to need, what'd you call it? The effect, the
Network effect. Once it hits a
network
certain
effect.
amount, it's just going to explode. And that's when you hope they have enough infrastructure to keep everything smooth.
But I mean, I don't. There's not a lot that I see right now that is being developed as fast and as furious as the Nostra protocol.
I do agree. Every time I look, it seems like when I look, because I always go back once in a while and look at their change log,
Mm.
and it's never two or three things. It's literally like 25 things every time that I look at it.
Are you talking about the NIP list?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it was called something.
I had written something about looking into what NIPs were used for the marketplace, like just how it actually functions, because you can on Amethyst you can create a listing basically,
Mm.
and then it automatically posts it to whatever marketplace.
Hmm.
And so I'm kind of interested just to see, because it's all the same protocol. So what it's using and how it differs from a regular note, or
Right.
but that's just more time.
Yeah. Well, time, experience, that kind of thing.
But there's a lot of pretty smart people that were understanding Bitcoin before a lot of
Oh
other
well.
people who are
Yeah.
now focusing
Actually,
on this. And Jack
right.
Dorsey as well. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
he scrapped all of the Twitter and Blue Sky, I think. And
He should have.
yeah, he's pumping money into this and saying, yeah, this is what I should have done before. So I think he might not be a terrible person that he was made out to be when he left Twitter. But I
Exactly.
think I think he realized, like, wow, I do not want to be here anymore.
I got to get
This
off
is
this boat.
not. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That just shows he's
Got
smart.
well, exactly. I think I mean, he did hit went through quite a rough patch, I think there, but yeah, just to have that wherewithal, like, okay, I'm done. I'm cutting bait here, and I mean, it's not like they booted him out and he landed on his butt in San Francisco, homeless. I think he did all right in the whole situation.
Yeah.
But to be focusing on decentralized, open protocols,
Mhm.
I think kudos for that.
Yeah. I mean, it is very clear in any environment in computing, open source has already won. It's just going to take time for everyone to realize that.
Yeah, open source, decentralization as well, just not putting all of your eggs in one basket.
Right.
And that's one of the things that, I mean, to go back to the Proton mail and everything that they're offering now, I get nervous about using one thing to do
Right.
everything. I like Bitwarden. I mean, the Proton Pass comes with the package that I'm paying for.
Mm,
But do I want that? And then do I want to use Proton Drive? And do I want to use the email and
right.
the VPN? But all that stuff comes with it. And so I could just
Right.
cut the other ones out. But
Yeah, I could see using the Proton one that has your banking and your other secure things, and have everything else that just requires an account to use Bitwarden or something like that, or vice versa, whatever. I have no problem separating out priorities with stuff like that. It's a little bit more work, but if you want to be an admin, it requires work.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing with everything. It's easy to talk about it, but
Hmm.
to put it into practice is
Well, and it's even easier to let someone else take responsibility for it. Like I can't talk the wife out of using the built-in Google Chrome password manager.
oh yeah.
And she's like, well, when I go to my computer, all the passwords are right there. Why wouldn't I use it? So, well, you shouldn't be using Chrome, number one, but
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, and then I mean I've never used the Google Password Manager, but I find that Bitwarden or even LastPass before that
Mhm.
was plenty easy to use.
Oh yeah, and worked across platforms and devices and
Yeah.
applications and yada yada yada.
Yeah, you're like preaching to the choir. I don't need to hear this. Tell her.
Yeah, oh, yeah. So she won't listen. She's a woman. She knows everything. Well, at least she's a woman.
Send your email to door at
Yep. Yep. At Steve
androidapparatus.com.
at smdcomputers.com.
Does that still work? That'd be pretty sweet.
I don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Considering he hasn't done computers for about a decade, maybe not.
What about Steve C? What you ever talked to him or?
I haven't talked to him for almost like 8 or 10 months, is what I'll say. But the last time I saw him talk and then looked into him and talked to him, he's in a punk band in Tampa and he's loving it. Which were the last words I thought I would ever hear coming out of his mouth.
Oh,
I'm in a
man.
punk band.
You should reach out to him and see if he wants to do one of these.
Right.
Like just hop on for a Thursday.
Right. I mean, I can try, but he
yeah.
kind of made it very clear to me I have no interest in doing a podcast ever again.
I'm in a punk band.
Right. Well, I mean, before he was into the EDM box, dun, 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 doing all that,
Yeah.
like almost playing a video game, but with sounds. But yeah, so now he's in a punk band.
Cool.
I know. All of a sudden, he's going to say, "I moved to Tibet and I'm a monk." I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect next.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, literally. You want to do a rundown?
Yes, I can do that. I was just looking at the Killed by Google site. I'm still trying to find.
Oh,
Not Google. It's not Hangouts. It was
I know.
actually a decent product too. Okay. All right. So, what did we bring? Well, here's the free APK downloader.net for loading APKs that may not be available on the Play stores. And then we talked before that about simple mobile tools being bought by Zippo apps. Zippo apps?
Yeah.
And open source and then some of the future and problems that some of these development teams have. iHunter BC by Inside Outside Studios Inc. And then Firefox getting extensions for Android. And then Obtainium. And that is in a GitHub repub, imram R98. Google Wallet by Google. Weird. Linux CLI launcher by Francesco Andruzzi. Is that what you said, Dor?
Yeah.
Skylight by Skylight Frame. Screenwise meter by Goo LLC, and then in parentheses it says Big Brother. I don't know what that means. Cocoon Weaver audio notes by Cocoon Weaver. Eternity for Lemmy by Baz Salansky.
Palansky.
Baz Salansky. It's been a fun day for trying to pronounce things.
Yeah.
I think that was it, Dor. I might have missed one somewhere in there.
No, that's probably okay.
I think so.
Just want to say again, thank for everybody for downloading, everyone for sharing the feed stream with other people. Thanks everyone for people like Red, like Chuck, like Swift, like the Mac Geek, all these people who've been hanging on for a long time. They've been nice and patient. The only promise is we are going to always try to keep doing better. We're never trying to do less. It just happens sometimes like that. But we are doing our best, and we promise we're going to keep trying. And with that, I will say if you want to contact us, super easy. 7076 Podnut or AAA at podnuts.com is the absolute easiest way to do it.
Have you checked the email or the voicemail?
I get an email when there's a voicemail, so okay. Yeah.
Let's blow up Dor's email.
I'm going to say it was Google Buzz.
No, that's not. Oh, it's right there. It was.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It was only
2019 was when it was killed.
There was. It's their social media Google attempt.
Yeah. Take a look at screenshots of it.
Maybe it was Hangouts. Maybe I'm thinking of Hangouts.
Well, Hangouts was literally just like a Google Messenger, Google Voice chat.
Google Plus.
Google Plus worked. Yeah, that was their definite attempt at like Facebook like.
Yeah, and that's the one I was referring to.
Yeah, that was the one that had circles. You had to put people into circles.
Yeah, I remember it being decent, and then they just killed it.
Yeah, they just basically were like, we're tired of this. Move on.
Wow, basically they try to kill anything or anyone that's decent. So
well, they swore after trying this for whatever time they did, there's no chance of this competing. I was like, wow. Okay. Just like Google.
Just like the entire list of 294 that's on killed by Google or whatever that site was. But now might be a good time too, Dor, to talk about reaching out to people and having some conversations or talking to people.
Yeah. This is the time of year. Just pick somebody random from your past. Doesn't have to be a former best friend. It could be the person you walked home from school with 2 days and then you never saw them again kind of thing. Just reach out to people. Let them know you're there. Ask them how they're doing. And if they say anything but great, keep talking to them. Some of the best things for mental health is literally just venting. And sometimes when people vent stuff, they automatically become a little bit better. So don't shortchange other people, and other people will never shortchange you, is what I'll say. If you are in trouble and you need to talk to somebody, 443-640-8960. Just send me a text message telling me you're going to call in X minutes. I can make sure I can have time. To anybody. It goes out to, period. Anybody. So time of year again. Thanks for everyone. Do not forget, support those who support you. And never underestimate what could happen when an open source app gets bought and sold. For shame. All right, Josh.
Support open source, support decentralization, support your direct family and people that are around you as well. Okay, the sphere of influence is critical, and make sure that everyone in that is doing well, and that will radiate out to the
Indeed.
rest of the community.
Indeed, indeed. And with that, we will talk to everyone later. Take it easy. You and we're live again. Does this sound plausible? You know what I mean? Um, I have some Docker stuff set up, um, introduced via a um, Docker Compose script. In a Docker Compose script, I saw a source for the image, and the source was a server. So what I believe is in my instance that I'm using to manage all my Docker containers, each Docker container has a check then update button. So what I believe is when that Docker container gets updated on that source server, then for me to do the upgrade, all I got to do is hit that button and say check then update. Because in the app, I'm getting the notification for Nextcloud that updates are ready. Like, you can upgrade now. All I have is the ability to download. And when I go to download, it says Docker containers are not updated via a in-app download.
Yeah, unless you just have to get a new Docker image of
That's a good point. But I would hate if that's the
Nextcloud.
case. The
Well,
reason I
because
say that,
it's probably the same. I would imagine is that the data is stored separate from the app, and
well, that
therefore configuration and data. So you could just
right,
replace the.
that's your choice. Yeah, the config. I both have the config and the storage on external drives, and on the
Mhm.
internal drive is where I see the like pointers for the container and everything else.
Because that's one of the cool things that I found about Umbrel, and it's
Mm,
probably with a lot of things where like it was corrupted and it just there's just something wacky about it, and it came from the SD card was corrupted, I guess, but you can just take the SD card out, reflash it, put it back in, and you're as good as new, and all your data and everything is and configuration is the same, which is pretty helpful.
mm,
Actually, very helpful because if you can nuke and pave without actually completely nuking.
right. Yeah, it's like a soft nuke. So it looks like I'm gonna have to figure out what protocol it's using to connect to that server. It's not
And what
using
is
a
that? Is that server a CDN or is it? I mean, I don't know that it matters really.
uh, well, it says LX, lscr.io/Linux server. And then when I search for that, it goes to linuxserver.io. So, fleet blog docs info forum support.
Oh, where did I
So,
put this thing?
yeah, regular updates. We built a pipeline that completely redesigns. Okay, fine. I want to see what images you have available. Oh,
It was
that looks like it.
for this miner that I bought. Um, I just took it out for the first time yesterday, and don't know anything about it. just had no clue. And somebody told me to put a different OS on it, basically.
Right.
And so you actually have to switch a toggle on the board in order
Right.
to get it to boot from SD. And then, I don't remember the point of that story, Door. But that happened.
Right. Well, I can now see the version it says is on this server is 28.000, 28.0.0. And it says it was just updated December 12th. And that was around the time it told me in the app there was an update. So now it's got to figure out how can I get a Docker version number, a container version number. I got to get the verbiage right or else I'm never going to find it. But so yeah, that's at least closer. So
I remember the point of it. It was that it was that in order to download the OS, which is called Brains, I clicked the download link and it took me to a Google Drive, and then there's just 4 not terrifically named files, and you download it from a Google Drive. I'm like, this is so dodgy, but I'm all in. I'm going for it.
Right. Well, it's called Brains. How bad can it be?
Yeah.
So yeah, I will say I'm so far very satisfied with this layer on top of Debian, Ubuntu, Armbian, whatever, called CASAOS.
Okay, yeah.
All it is basically a layer on top of it giving you a web portal to your Docker system.
Is that taking the place of Kubernetes or something like that as a manager type of?
I mean, you could probably use both at the same time. Kubernetes, I think, is more for administration and making more nodes and scaling things. Where this is more like a home setup where it just basically gives you the basic options of installing a new one, uninstalling.
It's just a simple. It probably uses Kubernetes or something underneath.
Wouldn't shock me at all if it uses something else. Yeah. But yeah, it's a nice little simple interface for home settings with, CPU, RAM usage, what's your storage look like, how's your network utilization, has its own app store where you can click and you can browse a list of containers to install, or you can install via Docker Compose, which I'm actually becoming kind of comfortable with seeing somebody's YAML Docker Compose file and just adjusting it for my needs and having it actually work. And 2 things that told me they were not installable via Docker, I got to install via Docker. One of them was Archive Box, which looks like a better solution for me than other tools that not only save bookmarks, but they literally download a version of the site. Because this has a tagging system where I believe I can make tags for Android app apps, blah, 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 and then easily separate them out. And the other one is Enigma BBS. My problem is I'm so stupid, I can't figure out how to use the sync term or the other BBS terminal applications to try to connect to the thing yet.
What is it called?
Enigma BBS. Or the other one. Archive Box?
Can't spell it. No, the other one was CASOS or what it CASOS?
CASAOS.
Oh, CASA. I see. Modern open BBS software nostalgia. So it is a B, just a B. It is a BBS.
Yeah, I'll say it does its thing. It doesn't try to pretend like it does more.
I'm gonna check something real quick.
Roger that. I gotta stop doing that. That's even annoying me.
That checking something turned into going outside and taking a piss.
Huh.
Just if I check my prostate at the same time, I'm okay.
That's all that matters. Yes, I did put a link in this chat and the YouTube chat to the GitHub for that.
So what do you have, Casa OS? What do you have it installed on?
It's a Rock 64.
Okay.
That's
And
why
so
it's not
you're
Raspbian.
using that for a dedicated machine. Is that where you're running the Docker files as well?
The Docker files are on external storage.
I mean the Docker images.
Yeah. Yeah, I try
And
to put as little as possible on the SD card.
so what do you? Yeah, yeah. What are you running? Like what?
Armbian, the newest version of Armbian that supports, I want to say Jammy.
So Casa OS. Wait, what? You have two of them on there?
No, Jammy
Are you
is
dual booting
no,
Linux, you
no.
nerd?
Jammy is the newest version of Debian,
Yeah.
and I'm running Armbian Jammy, and then after installing that, I run the one-line script to install CASAOS on it. It really shouldn't be CASAOS.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like it.
Right, and that's the first thing that confused me about it. It's CASA platform or interface or GUI
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Control panel.
Yeah. And I'm currently running Pi-hole, MariaDB with Nextcloud instead of using the SQLite, Archive Box and Enigma BBS. And the Nextcloud has been absolutely rock solid. But I wanted to see how it performed with upgrades before I did anything.
Yeah.
Because, reasons.
I'm using P Cloud, and that's another one that I'm starting to rely on a little bit too much. But I just use it for. I mean, that's where I store all my files basically. And I something happened, and I tried to open a spreadsheet that I've been using for about 3 weeks, just doing cost analysis and trying to figure out how much I could sell freeze dried fruit for, basically. And that was my first deep dive into spreadsheets, really. But
Right.
one of them, it came up and when you open LibreOffice and it says, "Oh, do you have this file? Do you want to try to recover it?" I don't know if you ever had that. I have that all the time. But it shit the bed. Done. I opened it and it was just completely empty. And then I went to pCloud because it was all saved on pCloud, right?
Right.
Just put it all in there, and I was able to get it back. So it's just another test of pCloud, basically.
Right.
And I've used it before because they store several different versions for several months.
Right.
And I've lost pictures that I've been able to go back and recover. They come back as a jumbled mess, but they're all there, I think.
Well, that's a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been really happy with it. The app is decent as well on my phone. It auto uploads my pictures. This first time I deleted or removed like 20 gigs of pictures from my phone
Wow.
up to pCloud. I'm like, it's really hard to push that button, but let's give it a go.
Right.
And so I need to be able to back up pCloud now, basically.
Right.
Which maybe is what I should use Nextcloud for, is just having, because pCloud just mounts as a drive
Right.
on your computer.
So then it's easy
so
to
then-
say Nextcloud, point to that folder.
Yeah, exactly. And then just
Mhm.
just a big circle jerk of backup.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
Yep.
name for backup. Circle jerk.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my beliefs is one of the safest ways to back up something like that is literally once a week or whatever, download the entire thing and create a encrypted file of it.
Yeah.
Just because it's so easy to check the entire hash mark in one shot to make sure everything is exactly as you left it.
Yeah, I mean that's good practice with password manager as well, which I don't do. as much
Yeah,
as
me
I should.
neither. Too much like work.
Yeah, but if Bitwarden somehow went down, I'd be in a world of hurt as far as
Dude,
being able to get
That's
anywhere.
why every 2 weeks I downloaded an XML file or whatever of all my passwords for the whatever system I use. I take that and I literally put it on 2 thumb drives. One never leaves this house. One's always in my pocket.
Encrypted, I would imagine. Or just a big text file.
On the one in my pocket, it is encrypted. On the one sitting here, it's not encrypted.
That's good to know.
And I like showed the wife, look, all I gotta do is plug this into Windows computer. Right there is a thing called passwords. Double click it, Control F, look for whatever site or service you're looking for or web URL you're looking for, and there it is.
Do you have Pornhub on there too, or do you take that one off? You don't put that on the main list.
I use a shared account. It isn't mine. I went to Bug Me Not.
Bug Me Not?
Bug Me Not is still a great website. You've never used it?
I'm afraid to go there, Dor.
Nah, man. If you go to a website or whatever and you want to do something and it makes you create a login to do anything and you're like, I only need this one thing. You then go to Bug Me Not, put in the URL of that website, and it will hand out usernames and passwords that people submitted. You basically just copy paste, hit enter.
No
Wow.
way.
Now you can do that one thing you wanted to do. Just like Retell Me Not, to me, is still the number one place for online coupon codes.
Retell Me Not. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never found a better place.
I haven't found any good ones. Like I found, maybe that's the one I used before, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've got one. I just got one because they're fun and I like them. Coupon Birds. I don't even know what the hell this is. Now.
Gotcha.
What am I doing
Yeah.
with my life, Dor? Like, seriously.
I don't know, but with me, it's like whenever I go to order new glasses, I go there and I always see I'm always able to find like a 20% off code or something.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're spending 150, 20% goes a long way.
I'm getting rid of this thing.
Get rid of it. You don't need it.
Well, I've tried to use it a couple times, and it gave me the codes, but none of them worked anyway.
Well, yeah,
I forgot it was even on here.
yeah. At Retail Me Not, it's the latest used successfully code is at the top, and then it goes down in the list. So if you get to number 3 and it ain't working, nothing's going to work. Okay, I'm going to kill the live stream.
But not everyone in it, just to make that clear.
If that's what happens when I hit that, then we're in a boatload of trouble. I guess there's a reason I don't watch live stuff. Oh, wait, no, because it's at 1x. That's why I don't watch live stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So if anybody's still chilling, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah, that's fun. I can't believe you guys actually come out to.
Well, and between me and you, next week would probably be a very good week for me too. Because no one's going to be at work.
Next week would be a good week for you?
Probably will be really good. Because, I mean, Christmas is a Monday. New Year's is a Monday or whatever, Sunday. Yeah. I don't picture the wife having me do tons of stuff next week. Except for take this back and return it to the store for credit. If somebody gives her something stupid.
Yeah, how good of a racket was that? I want my money back. You can have in-store credit.
It's always in-store credit.
Okay.
I know. Okay, end of the stream. Take it easy, Red.
Yeah, man. Good to see you.
Click. And OBS.